R&B money.
First thing I want to do is give a big shout out to Gilead Sciences, who's my partner in the community. For this leg of the tour that I just did with Lettucey, the Good Life tour. Gilead is investing over $12 million in the community to break down stigmas and bring more awareness to the community, to the black community, and to the world about how AIDS and HIV is affecting black women and girls. So they spending that money in grants, programming, connecting with artists like myself. It is a very important thing. Black women make up for 14% of the population, but more than half of the new cases amongst women.
Wow.
In the U.S. And the demo that's being kind of like affected the most. You're talking about anywhere between like the age of 15 to like 28.
Wow.
We've been doing part as an extension of my brand, and then my foundation, the Love Life Foundation, which is based out of DC. We've been doing these town hall women empowerment meetings along, with the tour, meeting with different mayors in different cities. We just did one in Birmingham, Alabama. Just kind of give you like the statistics. For example, like 60% of the high school kids are already sexually active in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's not conversations about condoms and different things, prevention, PrEP, different things that you can take now to prevent HIV and AIDS. You know what I mean? So, during our generation, right, and our parents, we came up in a time where we saw the messaging, we saw it on the billboards, we saw it in the commercials.
Yeah, it's kind of gone away.
Yeah, and it's like, and then with the, with living in a world of COVID and things like that, which kind of seem like taking more precedence. You know what I mean? We're losing it's still out there though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Running rampant, and you know what I mean. So, and that's just one of the many issues that we support and just combat with the Love Life Foundation. We do Queen for a Day spa takeovers. We're gonna be doing King for a Day spa takeovers as well, where we build with community on the ground. It started out doing Queen for a Day spa takeovers in support of women who are transitioning out of severe domestic violence situations. You know what I mean? At the time when I started the Love Life Foundation and we made domestic violence one of our major initiatives that we wanted focal points, PG County, I want to say it was Bowie, Maryland at the time, had the largest amount of phone calls for domestic violence in the entire country at the time. So it was kind of like, the stories you hear about, I can't remember the sisters' name. There have been a few women in our area who've, been set on fire, had acid thrown on them, that type of thing, in domestic violence situations. So that was just something I just heard that and was like, what? Like right here in our own backyard, and I have been called, I've been called out early in my career for a lot of different things in the city. And I show up, but I created the foundation to be able to support the things I want to be able to support directly.
Yeah.
Raise the money, create the change, be the change you want to be. Building with community. And right now, DC's on fire, man. Like it's just shout out to my man Philippe. Feel the Future. We just buried him on the 13th. Of April, and it's a lot of robberies. It's a lot of carjacking is up like crazy in the city. Like you got there was just a special on CNN about the youth in the city who missing over 100 days of school. It's just a lot going on, and no matter what you're going through, how frustrated it is, you can't give up on the babies. You can't give up on the youngins. We get older, and I got to think about my surroundings and where I want to be, and when I feel like I gotta, if I'm in the city and I gotta look over my shoulder and ride with it, it ain't a good feeling. You know what I mean? And I'll continue to do the work, but I got a love-hate relationship with home right now. Because I feel pain when I see how the youngins moving, but I also know that there's a disconnect, and between the gentrification, between the food deserts that they've had, on the South Side, where we've been part of, food banks and stuff of that nature before. A lot of stuff getting cut because of COVID and just all these things, man. It's a lot of people, the inflation, even people coming out to our shows. I understand that, like, it's a luxury to come out and see Raheem DeVaughn, see Tank. Like, some of these people, they're gonna come to 1 or 2 shows, or it's just one show for the year.
Yeah, that's all they got.
Yeah, and that's all they got.
That's all they got.
You know what I mean? So, again, whether you're talking, the partnership with Gilead, or you're talking about the Love Life Foundation and fighting domestic violence, or addressing the food deserts that are in the city, or mental health.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
60% of the households are like Black households, are ran by women right now. That's something that I learned, while on this tour, having these town hall meetings. Definitely, that's definitely what it is in Birmingham, Alabama. You know what I mean? And it may be, I don't want to be misquoted, but it may be for the entire country. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to do my part, man.
Yeah.
Do my part. I love our people. I love community. You know what I mean? And I think, I think what we do as musicians and with music, it can be, I call it edutainment. It's a thin line too when you make it. When you think about the artists like Marvin Gaye, Bob Marley, Curtis Mayfield, and Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? Like, an artist that can straddle the line and knows how to entertain you, but also touch on those social issues.
Yeah, the message in the music.
It makes the message in the music, but also where the record it's not corny.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a
tough job.
That's a tough job.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
It's a tough job.
To make social awareness cool.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I don't know if it was on your podcast, but man, you was telling me like it was, just in terms of what we up against, man.
Yeah.
We've been in this a long time. So, we do it through changing. You do it through changing, through the technology, right? Ownership is important. Financial literacy is something I was a late bloomer on. I'm learning in real time and understanding, investing, and understanding that everything in this room was an idea that needed funding.
Funding.
It needed funding. You know what I mean? It needed a cap table. You know what I mean? So I'm just like understanding those things, man.
You got Allen wrench.
Yeah. Because you can't have the change of the movement without the dollars.